that is because Ray, working with Governor Sanford, brought a change to North Carolina education that was only maybe a vision in the minds of some people. And that vision was our community college system in North Carolina. And I would venture to say that North Carolina has one of the best community college systems, I think, anywhere in the United States. And I would like you to know that this man standing next to me is personally responsible for the development of that vision and turning it into an actual delivery model that made a difference in the lives of countless millions of North Carolinians to this day, and who knows how many more in the future. So when I say to you, you guys need to listen to Ray Stone. He's got a vision for today, for tomorrow, and a beautiful memory of the great accomplishments of yesterday. So if I can now, I will pass this microphone. You're the holder.
We're going to try it.
If you want to do that, or Ray, whatever you want. But thank you so much for being here, Ray. And Ray's going to inspire you with his great work.
He will that.
Some of y'all know that in the Bible, Moses had his Aaron. Here's my Aaron today.
All right. Well, aren't we dressed well together?
We're going to get very close together.
Okay, Ray.
Let me just say a word about Terry Sanford. Governor Luther Hodges brought me to Raleigh in the 50s on a special assignment. He wanted me to go into every county in the state and organize citizens to talk about and plan how we can make the schools of North Carolina better rather than fight the order of the Supreme Court. And from that assignment, Governor Sanford asked me to be his education assistant. And so I was in and out of his office, in and out of the mansion, across this state with him. One of the assignments he wanted to do, he wanted to go into every county of this state to talk directly to school children. It was my job to set up those visits, to cue him in from county to county. For example, at that time, Hendersonville was a separate system and Henderson County was a separate system. The types of things like that. So we went into all 100 counties of North Carolina. On many nights, we'd get back in the Raleigh at 11 or 12 o'clock. He said, go on upstairs and crawl in your bed at the governor's mansion. So I spent 3.5 years with Terry Sanford. Nearly every day he was in office, and I benefited greatly from that. But as Norm mentioned, we started, the first year he was in office, he pushed hard for the public schools. 2 days after that, he brought in Bill Friday, president of the university, and Dallas Herron, chairman of the State Board of Education, to talk about education beyond the high school. Out of that came the commission study, and then in November of '62, they came forward with that report. They recommended the creation of a community college system and of the Board of Governors of the university. There was a big hassle over the name of NC State, and so it was 8 years later, in 1971, that the Board of Governors was created in North Carolina. But after that commission report, the governor called 4 of us together and said, I want y'all to draft a bill creating the community college system. 4 of us did. We submitted it to an attorney there in the office, and then the governor said to me, it's your baby, deliver it. I had to go to the legislature to push it through. We got it through with a single vote in May of 1963, and the community college system came into being in July 1st, 1963. Let me just tell you, last year, more than 900,000 people in North Carolina took at least one course in the community college. More than 900,000. And now there is one challenge about the community college now. The state is increasing funds for the community colleges by raising the tuition on the students. And so at the beginning, the community college was to be an open door with very, very low tuition, and now the Republicans in Raleigh have raised that tuition up. So I just want to mention that. Now, let me get into what I really wanted to say. Believe it or not, 65 years ago, I was a school teacher. So I'm gonna give you a spelling test. How do you spell Democrat? Spell it. D-E-M-O-C-R-A-T. Listen to this. D is for being dependable. You can depend upon Democrats who we elect to carry out the will of the people. E is for education. The Democrats under Terry Sanford, Jim Hunt, and every other governor pushed hard to make North Carolina equal to the national average. What has the Republicans done since McCrory and the Republicans been in office now for 6 years? They have pushed education down, so we're now 44th or 45th among the 50 states in America. That's what the Republicans have done to the education in North Carolina. Okay?
Yes.
M is for mobility. The Democrats believe in upward mobility of people. You may start out life in a low status, but the sky is the limit. M is for mobility. O is for opportunity. Opportunity. Think about the opportunities that education allows a person to take advantage of as we move along through life. C is for conviction. We really believe that the people are capable of governing themselves. C is for conviction. R is for responsibility. We hold our elected officials responsible for the acts that they take, and they are responsible to the people. And then A is for acceptance. Democrats are composed of people like us. That make any difference what religion you are, what creed you are, what gender you are. If you are a citizen, you can be a Democrat. And you look at the Republican Party, and do you see anything but what I call the plutocrats in the Republican Party? You look at the Republican Convention and see what kind of people are there, and look at the Democratic Convention, and you see the same thing. And then last is T is for togetherness. We believe that together we are stronger. In the words of Hillary Clinton, stronger together. So let's all say now, let's all say D-E-M-O-C-R-A-T. One more time. D-E-M-O-C-R-A-T. Now, the question is, how many Democrats have already voted? Raise your hand. Let's give them a big hand. Let's give them a big hand. Now, how many Democrats are you folks going to take to the polls to vote? That's the question. Let me share this with you. In 2010, Democrats stayed at home, and we lost the state to Republicans, and we are paying the price even today. We're paying the price even today. I want to go into some of the issues now that I think are really important to us, and all I'm going to do is ought to mention them. But listen to these. The first one is voting rights. Voting rights. What have they done to voting rights? They put the ID upon us, and only the courts, the federal courts, had to overrule them, and so on. What did they do? They now said you can't vote a straight ticket. You got to have a full ticket in order to know who to vote for, and so on. What did they do? They limited Sunday voting because so many Afro-Americans were going to the polls on that particular day. What did they do? They shortened the period of time when people could vote ahead of time to tie in with their own daily lives, working and making a living and that sort of thing. That's what the Republicans have done to our voting rights. That's number one. Number two, education. As I said a while ago, education under Terry Sanford and Jim Hunt, we were at the national average. Now we are 44th or 45th in the country. And they keep sniping at and telling the educators of this state how to do their jobs rather than having faith in the great teaching force of this state and so on. Our schools, our colleges, our community colleges, all now are suffering because of the Republicans in the last 6 years of dominance in Raleigh. The next one is health care. Think what they are saying and doing about the Affordable Care Act. And related to that, Medicare. I look around and see many of you are close to my age. I'm sure I'm 25 years older than anybody else here. But many of you are close to my age and you're already on Medicare. And they're talking about privatizing it so that the private insurance companies can take control of it. That's the type of thing that we got to be concerned about with respect to health care. The next one is women's rights. Who am I, or who is anybody to tell a woman what is to do with her body, and when to do it, and how to do it, and this sort of thing? That's a very great issue, and I think that's turning women greatly in our numbers come between now and November the 8th, and so on. The next one is racial justice. If it's anything we need in America, it's racial justice. We read in the paper, we see every day where Afro-Americans are being profiled and are being arrested and are being shot at and this sort of thing. I'm a supporter of the police, I'm a supporter of the highway patrol, but they've got to use good sense instead of their own prejudices when they go out to carry out the laws of this state. Now, to me, they are the issues that we need to vote. Now, the question is, are you going to vote, and how many people are you going to drive? How many people are you going to make sure they go to the vote? How many of you out here vote right up here at the Bruce Drysdale School? Raise your hand. I do. I vote at Bruce Drysdale School, but wherever you vote, let's vote. Now, I want to close by bringing out something here. That's right. I received this in the mail from the Democratic Party. Vote. On it, there's a list of every candidate running for office in this state, and I want to just review a few of them with you. You know about Hillary Clinton. Let me just tell you, Roy Cooper's father and I were classmates in college. They live in the county next to mine where I grew up in, Franklin County. He is from Nash County. I've known Roy Cooper just about all of his life. I got to know Deborah Ross when she served so well in the North Carolina General Assembly. She would be a very good candidate for the United States Senate over that do-nothing Richard Burr, who has been down now for all these years.
Do nothing but get rich.
I want you also to know that I know Linda Coleman, who is running for lieutenant governor. She was a state personnel officer. She is fully qualified and ready to be lieutenant governor of North Carolina. And these council of state members, I want to just run down them quickly. I know most of them personally. Only one or two that I don't know, but I want to run down, for example,
Wayne Goodwin.
Wayne Goodwin is insurance commissioner. Josh Stein is the attorney general.